Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. If you're a returning listener, it's great to have you back. If you're new to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So our podcast encourages people to build a life of meaning and purpose for themselves. They get to choose, they have to choose that meaning and purpose. Nobody can tell you what that meaning and purpose is. Those are the two caveats. It should be something you choose, not something that people around you choose, not something society pushes you towards, but something that's meaningful and purposeful to you. And you should be the best that you can be. You should always be pushing yourself to get better. That's what we do. That's what the podcast is about. Those are the topics that we cover. We do interviews with people who talk about how they figured those things out in their life and the lessons they learned. They share those lessons with you so you can implement those learnings in your life and build the life that you want that has meaning and purpose. And today, we're going to talk about excuses. We're going to talk about the cost of excuses to you personally. We're going to talk about how rationalizing your failures destroys your potential. It's something we all have to deal with. It's a brutal truth. It's not fun to deal with sometimes. It's not particularly exciting to deal with sometimes, but it's necessary because the excuses that you're making to yourself are the things that are holding you back from the life that you want. Every excuse feels harmless. It feels okay in the moment, but it actually steals a little bit of your potential and a little bit of your future every time you lie to yourself and make excuses for the things that aren't the way you want them to be in your life. We're going to learn to take control of the things we have control over, and we're going to learn to ignore the things and not worry about and not stress about and not fret about the things we do not have control over. And by the way, there's a lot more things in the you don't have control over bucket than there are in the you do have control over bucket. So you should be spending all your time and effort and energy on the things you do have control over. One of the things you have control over is being honest with yourself and not making excuses to yourself. So that's our topic for today. We're going to get into it. We're going to tell you and try to convince you why it's important for you to be honest with yourself. Stop being a victim. Stop making excuses and take control of your life. So, with all that said, let's jump into it. So, number one, excuses are just lies to yourself. That is all that they are. So, you've got to think about it that way. Would you lie to your mom? Would you lie to your spouse? Would you lie to your children? If the answer is yes, I would argue that you need to work on that relationship. Because if you're not being brutally honest with each other, you're not cultivating that relationship to its maximum benefit for both people involved. And an excuse that we make to ourselves is just a lie we tell ourselves to feel comfortable, to feel better, to make ourselves feel better when things don't go the way we want them to. Psychology calls it cognitive dissonance. Our brain justifies the behavior so we don't feel guilty. We see this all the time when we make judgments on other people, but we give excuses to ourselves on the same subject. And that just doesn't work. It's not going to get you where you want to be in life. You're not going to learn anything from the hard things that happen in your life, and you're going to stay stuck where you are. Every time you make an excuse to yourself, you know deep down that you're lying to yourself. And so you erode your own trust in your belief in yourself. And that's not where you want to be as a person. You want to be honest and straightforward with yourself all the time. So, like we talked about, here's the takeaway on this one. The first takeaway is always ask yourself, what's really in my control? And when you ask yourself that, you're going to find that there's a lot of things you spend a lot of time trying to control, worrying about, fretting about that you have no control over. What other people think about you? You have no control over that. How often other people think about you? You have no control over that. You do have control over how you think about yourself. You do have control over the thoughts in your head. You do have control over how you react to the situations that happen in your life, many of which you have no control over. But that's the question we're going to ask ourselves. What's really in my control in this situation? And I'm going to focus on that. Okay. Number two, excuses kill growth by shifting blame and distracting you from the real issue that you need to solve. Excuses turn life into something that's happening to you instead of something you control. That's called learned helplessness, and it's not where you want to be. So a real life example of this is a student who fails a test and says, the teacher's unfair. They didn't do a good job of teaching the subject, so I failed the test. You're not going to get growth from that mindset. You're not going to get progress from that mindset, and you're shirking your own responsibility. The discipline shift here is to take 100% radical responsibility for the outcomes that happen in your life. Even if things are beyond your control, you need to tell yourself or think to yourself, I don't care that I can't control that. I'm still responsible for the result. I'm still responsible for the outcome. I'm going to do anything and everything in my power to get better at this. Let's go back to our student who failed the test. Let's say for our argument's sake that the teacher does suck and the teacher did a really bad job teaching the subject. In today's day and age, there's no excuse to not learn a subject, even if the teacher's not good at teaching it to you. You've got YouTube, you've got Google, you've got ChatGPT, you've got resources around you. Believe it or not, people still read books. People could still go to the library and look up information. There is a plethora of ways for you to get the information you need to pass that test. And if you're serious about it and you take 100% accountability and you refuse to let exterior things you can't control stop you from getting where you want to be, then you'll get to where you want to be. Even if it's not your fault, even if you own a little piece of it, control that piece of it and use that as your impetus to get to where you want to be. But we need to stop shifting the blame outside and shifting the blame to other people, to circumstances, to things beyond our control. And we're going to shift the responsibility 100% back on ourselves. We are responsible for how we think. We are responsible for how we react. We are responsible for what happens in our life. And we have to take control of those situations by taking radical responsibility for the things that are in our control. So that's the thought process we're going to develop. Number 3, this one's important. We see this a lot in today's society. Excuses become an identity. The danger here is excuses compound one on top of the other. They start to hardwire into your brain so that whenever you experience something negative, something bad, or something goes wrong, your first thought is to make an excuse. Suddenly, you're the person with bad luck. You're the person that can't catch a break. You're the person who the deck is stacked against. I don't have enough time, right? Who does? Everyone gets 24 hours a day. That's the one place where everybody's equal no matter what. You have the same amount of time as Elon Musk, who runs a bunch of companies. You have the same amount of time as whatever, insert successful person here. It doesn't matter who the person is. If you don't like Elon Musk, fine. You have the same amount of time as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Doesn't matter. She's made a lot with what she's has available to her in life. And she has the same amount of time that you do. So we need to stop using excuses as our identity. It robs you of your potential. So we see this all the time with, oh, I'm poor, so I can't get that done. Oh, I'm X, whatever X is. I'm black, I'm Irish, I'm Asian, I'm Hispanic, I'm white, I'm male, I'm female, I'm tall, I'm short, I'm thin, I'm fat. Excuse. Those are all just excuses. We're using them as an identity to hide from taking responsibility for our lives. You need to take responsibility for your life. One way to do that, start tracking your excuses. Take a week and start writing them down when they pop into your head. You'll be shocked at how often you're making excuses for your behavior, excuses for your procrastination, excuses for your unwillingness to take the hard step. And once we get rid of those excuses, it becomes a lot easier to start progressing down the path we want to progress down. Speaking of which, that's our next point, is that excuses cost you opportunities. Excuses are actually really expensive. Athletes start losing spots on teams. Employees start losing promotions. Relationships start to fall apart. Leaders don't trust excuse makers. They trust problem solvers. They look for people that say, I don't care what the problems are. I'm going to find a way to fix those problems, and I'm going to get it done. I don't care what it takes. You're going to lose those opportunities if people think you're an excuse maker and you shirk your responsibilities. It's that simple. People have asked me a lot, how do you wind up in charge of so much stuff? I raise my hand. Who wants to run this? I do. That's an opportunity because I'm not going to make excuses. And things go wrong. I've had lots of things go wrong. I'm working on things right now that are really tough and have been tough for years. And we're trying to get them to a better spot. We're making progress on some, and some of them are tougher. But we're not making excuses about it, and we're seeing it through to the end. So what we need to do is we got to get I can't. Can't means won't. So think about it that way. The word can't actually means won't. I can't lose weight. That means you won't lose weight. I can't get in shape. That means you won't get in shape. I can't develop a relationship. That means you won't develop a relationship. You won't do the things necessary to get the thing that you want, and you make an excuse and you hide behind that identity, and it costs you those opportunities time and time again. Change I can't to what can I do? What do I have control over? I can't meet a girl. Well, have you talked to girls? I'm not talking about dating apps. I'm not talking about online. Go out to the grocery store, go out to the park, go out to any public place, strike up a conversation with a stranger. It's not that hard. Are you originally from here? What's your favorite dinner food? Not hard things to ask. What's your astrological sign? There's all sorts of ways to start those conversations. You could do whatever you want. Look for something in the situation and try to develop a commonality with that person. Those are things you can do. You just won't do them. And so it costs us those opportunities because we hide behind the excuses. We got to quit doing that. Replace I can't with what can I do? What action could I take that might move me towards my goal, and take that action? Okay. Number 5, we're going to share a little Stoic wisdom on excuses, right? So the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, all of the deep thinkers, we've got their journals from hundreds of years ago. And these were people that spent a lot of time sitting and thinking, and they were not excuse makers. They had no use for excuses. So Marcus Aurelius, for example, said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be, just be one. Right? So stop with the debate, stop with the back and forth, stop with the excuse making, model that behavior in real life, and you'll be much happier. Excuses are just arguments. Action is the answer. Excuses are reasons to prevent you from taking action and making yourself feel better about not taking action. Action is what solves anxiety. Action is what solves depression. Action is what solves the problems in your life. It always requires doing. So I didn't have time, not in our lexicon. We don't even use that phrase anymore. It doesn't exist in our world. Replace it with I didn't make time, because you do have time. You didn't have time, but you spent 2 hours on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. You didn't have time, but you had time to binge watch 3 episodes of Netflix. You didn't have time, but you had time to watch 3 podcasts on YouTube. Whatever the case may be, we all have the same amount of time. We all have the same amount of resources available to us in terms of public domain. And the people that are successful make the most of those resources. They don't make excuses. They take action. And that's what we're encouraging you to do. So just remember, excuses cost you your future. Your future self is begging your present self to start taking action, because that action requires accountability, and accountability is what gets you where you want to be. Hold yourself accountable to your own goals and your own action. But you've got to make that choice. Which one are you going to choose? Do you want to choose to keep making excuses, or do you want to choose to start taking accountability, radical accountability, 100% accountability for the outcomes in your life? If you choose the second one, you'll be much happier. You'll start progressing towards the goals that you want, and your life will start showing improvement immediately. We sure hope that's the path that you choose. Okay, guys, James puts it up over here every day. Head over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All of our podcast episodes are available there. Links to our social media accounts are available there. We publish a newsletter every weekday you can subscribe to there. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you consume it on. And we're starting something new this week. We hit a certain number of subscribers on our YouTube channel, which allows us to offer a subscription to our channel. And there's no requirement, but if you want to subscribe to our channel, we've got some perks and some additional content and items available to you. So at $4.99, it's a $4.99 per month membership. We're doing members only chats, early access to video, and exclusive short videos that we will not publish on the regular YouTube channel. For $9.99, you'll get all of those things as well as shout outs in our videos. And we're going to start doing live streams on a weekly basis. And members, our exclusive members, will have access to those live streams. So we can talk about current events. We could talk about topics we talk about on the podcast. We could talk about things that you have going on in your life if you're looking for help or support or guidance. $9.99 a month to be in a community of people that are all trying to improve their lives is a pretty good deal the way we see it. So if you want to take advantage of that, make sure you check that out on our YouTube channel, Salty Ginger Talk on YouTube. So thanks for joining us today, guys. Really appreciate it. You don't want to miss all of the great content we have on our channel. We interview people who have built good lives for themselves, and they talk about all the things they've learned, mostly from the things that have been tough in their lives. That's what we have learned, is that the people that are successful are the ones that take the lessons from the beatings that life gives them and apply those lessons to move forward and make their lives better. You don't want to miss all that stuff. It's great content. It's going to help you build the life that you want. So make sure you catch our next episode. We'll see you there.